2 days ago, I posted a TikTok video that showed a virtual green screen that I use back here for my... What the... 2 days ago, I posted a video on TikTok, and I was using a virtual green screen that sits behind me when I'm on my Just Chatting scene on Twitch streams. And it was flooded with comments about asking for a tutorial, as you can see. So here is my effort at trying to create a tutorial to pass along the knowledge of the 3D Billboard effect virtual screen. Let's get into it. Now, the first thing we're going to assume here, because I am not a great professor or teacher, is that you, one, have OBS already downloaded and operational, and two, have the ability to Google OBS plugins and install them fully. I am not very good at troubleshooting plugins, so if you have an issue with that, you'll have to find some other resources. I'm just going to show you the simple method that I did with downloading, and it just worked. Again, if you have other questions and this video wasn't enough, join the Discord link below. I'll answer as much as I can. All right, we're going to try and keep this video as short and sweet and to the point as we can. There's 3 things that you must have in order to create this effect. Number 1 is you need to have the plugin that is called Source Clone, and it's for OBS. You're going to need the plugin that's called 3D Effect for OBS as well. And then you must have an NVIDIA GPU. Sorry, AMD users. If you have an AMD card, you probably can still do this effect. There's probably some smarter people out there that could show you how to do that. For me, NVIDIA just makes it so simple. So if you have an NVIDIA chip or an NVIDIA card, you can just follow along. Step 1 is going to be going to the website shown here and downloading the Source Clone plugin for OBS. What this plugin does is it allows you to copy a source specific so that you can get another copy of that window. Let's say, for example, here, your camera, in my instance, a Sony camera. It allows me to take the feed that my Sony camera has, and it allows me to put filters and edits onto it without messing up the original source. If you try to go ahead and do this effect with your main source, any filters that you apply to that main source will apply in every instance of that source. But for what we want to do, we only want the camera to have this effect on this specific scene at this specific time. All right, now that you have the Source Clone plugin downloaded and installed, next up is to Google, as you can see here, the 3D Effect plugin. Now, what this plugin allows you to do is it allows you to take a window, so again, in this case, the game screen that is behind me, and it adds a parallax or a distortion effect to it. So what it does is it takes what would normally be a 2-dimensional flat screen, and it allows you to rotate on the Y-axis, the X-axis, and then you can do a skew for the Z-axis if you would want. So for me, for my case, having it up behind me, I rotated it on the Y-axis to give it that depth effect where it looks like it's sitting behind me. All right, only a couple more things to download. Next, we have to go over to NVIDIA's website. So what you want to do is to go over to Google and search NVIDIA VFX SDK. And now you scroll down a bit and you'll see a broadcast download center. Click on that. This will bring you to this page that shows you the audio effects and the video effects that you can download and use because you have an NVIDIA GPU to help process filters and effects on anything you do in OBS. I specifically have a 3060 series card in this streaming PC, so I would go down and I would download the audio effects, which can be sound cancellation, sound isolation, background sound removal, stuff like that would be under the audio effects. The stuff that we need is under the video effects. So for me, I have a 30 series, like I said, so I would be going to the 30 series and I would be downloading that corresponding VFX SDK package. Once you've downloaded all 3 of these, make sure that you install them properly, you reboot the application, in this case OBS, and once you have all of that done, we're ready to go ahead and build the scene. All right, now that we have everything downloaded and everything installed, here's how we finally build the scene that I did. So if you look down on the bottom left of OBS, you will find my little stack that I made to create this illusion. So it starts with your base level camera. So for me, it's the Sony Cam number 3. This is just my raw camera footage coming into a normal source. Then on top of that, I have what I call a nested group called TV. Now this is the Billboard. This is what you see behind me that's on the effect. You can see here gameplay Billboard. That is a cloned source, as you can see by this icon. So I clone my gameplay or whatever you want to be in this Billboard. I clone that source so that when I go into filters, I can add the 3D effect filter, which was from the plugin that we just downloaded. Then once you have that set up, you go back out of here. I have a black border that goes around the screen to kind of just clean it all up. You don't have to do that. You can just have your gameplay there. Then on top of that is another source clone of your camera. So down here is the Sony base source. Then up here is a cloned source because we need to add the filter, which is the NVIDIA background removal tools that we downloaded from the SDKs. I have this NVIDIA background removal set, as you can see when I turn it on and off. And basically what that does is it creates the base layer, which is your Sony Cam, and then your background removal, which is the Sony Cam with background removal. And it just creates an image that then can have almost an in-between. It creates a slot in between the base layer and then the removed background. And then it gives you that effect as if your person is lifting off the screen and the Billboard can sit behind you. With all that in place, that's pretty much it. There's not much else to it. Once you download the plugins, the SDK for the NVIDIA background removal, set up your sources so that you've got them layered this way so they're sitting on one on top of the other, you're pretty much set. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you follow the link on my bio to the Discord. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the Discord. Thanks again for tuning into a tutorial. And if you stayed all the way to the end of this video and you're hearing this, drop a like, drop a comment, share it with a friend. We'll see you in the next one.